We have all heard about the Silk Road, right? Well, in 2026, we have officially entered the era of Silicon Road. But here's the problem, there's a new toll gate on the road, and it's just got a whole lot more expensive to pass through. Just a few days ago, the Trump's administration dropped a policy that is basically a 25% surcharge on the brains of modern world. If you are building an AI in Berlin, training the model in Bengaluru, or running a data center in Tokyo, the cost of your future just went up. And the crazy part, this isn't about a trade war between DC and Beijing anymore. This is about the boss in Washington saying, hey, if you want the best chips on the planet, you have to pay us for the privilege. Welcome to the show, everyone. It is mid of January 2026, and if you thought the new year would bring some stability to the tech world, well, time to think again. I'm your host Arya, and today we will diving into the Trump's administration phase 1 AI policy. Look, for the last few years, the vibe was like, hey, don't even think about selling the high end chips to the China. It was a total wall back there. But as of this week, the logic has just flipped. Now the US is saying, fine, if you want to sell your fancy H200 chips to China, go ahead. But we want our cut, and we want it is a classic move, right? The government wants its 25% commission. But this isn't just a private deal between two superpowers. This is going to send a shock wave into every corner of the globe. Today, we are looking at how this silicon sovereignty move is squeezing startup from London to Singapore, and why every tech hub on the earth suddenly checking their import invoices with a magnifying glass. So just grab a cup of coffee because we need to talk about why the world's compute supply just hit with a massive commission fee. So, how does this actually work? It's a bit of a strategic masterpiece, honestly. Most of these top tier chips like Nvidia's H200 or AMD's 325X are made by TSMC in Taiwan. Usually they would ship directly to the customer, but under these new rules, any chip destined for China now has to take a mandatory vacation in US testing lab. Why? To make sure they haven't been modified to be faster than what the license allowed. But here's the second those chips touch the US soil and the moment they are imported, bam, the US Treasury collect the 25% tariff. It doesn't matter if the chip is only in the country for 48 hours for a quick checkup, the US Essential charging up a transit tax on the most valuable hardware in human history. It's like the world's most expensive pit stop. If you are a player in Paris, you are not just potentially paying more, you are waiting longer. It's literally America first policy for AI horsepower, and the rest of the world is left fighting for the leftovers. Let's just zoom out because this is fundamentally rewriting the DNA of global AI. We are witnessing the end of the great AI equalizer dream. First, we have the priced out problem. If a mid-sized lab in Singapore has to pay a 25% surcharge and wait 6 months longer than a Silicon Valley giant, they can't compete. We are entering a world of tiered innovation, where the tier 1, the US hyperscaler who gets zero tariff and first dibs. The tier 2 are the partners companies like Taiwan who just signed a massive $250 billion deal to get their tariff lowered to 15%. And the tier 3, where the rest of the world resides, everyone else paying full price, waiting in long lines to get their chips. This leads to a massive global movement towards sovereign AI. Nations will realize they can't rely on a single country's export rule. We are seeing compute coalition form, where countries trade energy or raw material just to get guaranteed access to the message is clear: if you don't own the hardware, you don't own your future. Of course, not everyone is happy. In the US, lawmakers like Brian Mast are fuming, calling this sales selling missiles to adversary. They are pushing the AI Overwatch Act to let Congress block these sales entirely. And China? They aren't exactly rolling out the red carpet for a 25% tax. They have already started halting clearance of H200 and telling their companies only to buy this. It's if it is a life or death situation. Otherwise, use domestic Huawei chips. The irony? By making American tech so expensive and politically messy, the US might be forcing the rest of the world to design out US company altogether. It's a gamble that could change the tech industry forever. So, the takeaway for today, the era of one global tech market is officially over. We are in the era of silicon sovereignty. Whether you are in London, Bangalore, or San Francisco, the price of the AI race just went up. If you found this breakdown useful, share it with your fellow founders and techies. We need to stay ahead of these shifts before the next will come due. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back in the next episode, or if the phase 2 of this tariff hits the border market. Until then, keep building, keep questioning, stay sharp. This is Arya signing off.